My wife Jenny cheated on me. Dirty and disgusting. Not only me, but our son Michael, and even my mother Barbara. I'm gonna start with a cliche. I was away on a business trip, and by the law of the genre, I came home 2 days early. I tried very hard to spend the weekend with my family. My wife Jenny texted me tearfully and recorded voicemails about how much she missed me and how she was looking forward to it, thus not even giving me a reason to be jealous. The only thing that marred the situation was the news that my son Michael had caught a cold. So it was decided to call my mom Barbara for help. Other than that, everything was fine. The family was taken care of, and I always trusted my mom. I flew home, literally elated, bringing a gift for my wife and a present for my son. However, once home on Friday night, I was disappointed. To surprise her, I didn't ring the doorbell and open the door with my own key. The apartment was surprisingly quiet, though it was too early for sleep. I slowly made my way to the back of the apartment, peeking into the nursery, but no one was there. The kitchen light was off. An unpleasant tingling sensation appeared in my chest. I plucked up courage and decided to look in the bedroom. But it was empty there too. I turned on the light and found only a crumpled bed and hastily scattered clothes. A robe, underwear, my sock. Obviously, the wife was going somewhere in a hurry. My wife's cell phone was out of range. I rushed to my mom's house. I couldn't wait to see my son. As it turned out, my hero had already fully recovered, and while we were playing with him in his room, his mom was busy in the kitchen. She was clearly dissatisfied with something, but did not hurry to share her worries with me, only glanced in my direction, watching me devour the fragrant tea and cakes. Eventually, I couldn't stand it. "What's the matter, Mom?" I smiled, folded my arms in front of me like a schoolboy, and prepared to listen. "What's the matter?" answered Mom cheerfully, "but I can see that something's wrong. Is it about Jennifer? Did you two have a fight?" I moved my shoulders and sipped more tea. "No," Mom narrowed her eyes. "David, what are you talking about?" "Jenny said she got infected from Michael and asked me to pick him up. Well, I've been home. There's no one there, and you're here." The situation started to get downright unpleasant, and I abruptly got up from my seat and rushed into the hallway to get the phone. "David?" Mom rushed after me. She clutched at the sleeve of my jacket, but it was too late. The phone buzzed, and then Jenny dropped the call. A couple minutes later, a voicemail came through. "David, I'm on my way in the car to take Michael and your mom to her place. I'm sick myself, and I don't want to get them sick. Kisses." I heard Jenny's voice. Mom stared at me in bewilderment. "Let's go sit down," I breathed out, taking my mom under her elbow and keeping her from dropping to the floor. She nodded her head affirmatively and awkwardly tried to stand up. "Okay, let's go over this again," I started, preparing to curl my fingers. "Was it Jenny who brought you here with the baby yesterday, citing illness?" "No, I only stayed with you for a couple days, and then—" The mother hesitated. "Well, yes, Jenny brought Michael here yesterday." "I don't understand." I wrinkled my nose, but continued. "Did she say she was going somewhere else?" "No, she said she was going to get treatment at home. I guess I'll make another visit home." I exhaled, realizing what I was about to see. My intuition was right. This time, I had caught them. Already upon entering the floor, I was greeted by men's things mixed with my wife's. The path led to the bedroom, where soft music played and muffled moans could be heard. Suppressing my first fit of anger, I swung the door open and slammed my palm on the light switch. There were a few seconds of confusion, and then my fist met the jaw of my wife's lover. The man was strong. He didn't fall to the floor, but landed on a chair. He looked at me with a dazed look, then shifted it to Jenny and grabbed a pillow, leaning it against his groin, and sprinted out the door, taking his feet out of my apartment. My wife was left sitting on the bed, covered in a blanket and winding snot on her fist. "I'm sorry." She slipped out from under the blanket and headed in my direction. "I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. It was all the alcohol." A ringing slap interrupted her lamentations, and she fell silent with her hands pressed to her cheek. "Pack your things and get out of my house." I hissed angrily and jabbed my finger into her ribcage to get her feet out of here. Walking out of the bedroom, I rubbed my bruised fist and moved into the kitchen. The world had turned over so abruptly that I was even dizzy. The first 2 shots of whiskey went by unnoticed, but as I finished the third, my wife appeared in the doorway. Jenny slowly slid to the floor along the wall and literally crawled to my feet on all fours. "David, I'm sorry," she whimpered, looking pathetic, which made her even more unpleasant. Everything this woman was doing right now made me not even angry, but disgusted. I set the stack aside, exhaled, and rose to my feet. "When I get back, I don't want you here. My son will stay with me until you find a proper apartment." That's how I became a Sunday dad. Jenny was counting on alimony and wages after the divorce, but we assume and the Lord orders. I talked to lawyers, and I was transferred to a part-time firm, thereby reducing alimony to the bare minimum monetarily. Of course, I am providing for my son with everything he needs, but Jenny has been left at a broken trough with her hopes, and now has to work hard to provide for her wants. For weeks after I caught Jenny cheating, I was overwhelmed with bitterness, tossing between rage and anguish. I felt betrayed not only by Jenny's infidelity, but by the web of lies she'd woven behind my back. I dove headlong into caring for our son Michael, finding solace in our father-son bond amidst a broken marriage. My mom Barbara was also a blessing, helping me as I sorted out the legal and logistical details. I reluctantly moved into a small apartment near work. My wounds were still too fresh to stay in the house we shared with Jenny. The divorce proceedings were tedious, Jenny trying in vain to get more money from me. But evidence of her adultery in the courtroom nullified her pleas. In the end, all she got was a car and a modest alimony. I adjusted to single parenting during the weeks I was with Michael, although it was difficult to fit all of his needs into a 48-hour workday. The first few nights he sometimes cried for mommy. But soon, our new routine began to calm us both down. About 6 months after the breakup, I started dating again. I talked openly about my single dad status and my commitment to Michael. The interactions were pleasant, but no serious relationship emerged. Until I met Claire, an old friend from high school. We had always found common ground easily, but had lost touch over the years as marriage and children came along. Now that we are both single, that spark was instantly rekindled. Claire not only understood my pampered feelings about love, but sympathized with me, having gone through her own divorce. We started slowly, focusing on fun rather than a serious future. Over time, our relationship grew even stronger. Claire adored Michael and gradually gained his trust, becoming a good friend to him. On Michael's 6th birthday, we all gathered for his party. Both Claire and Jenny were present. Things were tense at first. Claire politely kept to the sidelines, and Jenny was the center of attention. But Michael made sure to introduce his mom to Claire, surprising us both by calling her his friend. Jenny strained a fake smile as it dawned on her how much she had lost. Toward the end of the party, Claire and I snuggled in silence while Michael played. "You've given that boy so much joy," I told her, squeezing her hand. "I'm lucky to be able to share mine with you as well." Claire kissed me gently, promising me that there was more to come. I'd been at this painful crossroads once before starting over, having lost faith and love. But with Claire, the possibilities opened up again. Together, we created a new family, filling the voids left by betrayal and lies. The old wounds were finally beginning to heal. I still had a long way to go, but for the first time in years, I felt hopeful.